What up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Leslie Smith, and today I am going to be talking about The Killer's Daughter by Kate Willey. This is a brand new release out today, March 25th, 2024, and for readers who love to read mystery, thriller, crime, suspense novels, this is one that you're going to want to pay attention to. At time of filming, I have to say, Storm Publishing has been knocking it out of the park for me lately. I've now read and reviewed 3 books by them, all of which have been rated 4 stars or higher. I have another one on the TBR waiting for me to get to. So not only have I been reading a lot of good books, they've all been coming from one place, which makes me feel good about requesting more novels from them on NetGalley, which is how I found The Killer's Daughter. Every week I get on NetGalley and scroll through the new titles. This one caught my eye because of the title, The Killer's Daughter. As soon as I read the blurb, I was absolutely in for this one. For me personally, when I pick up a new book, I am absolutely judging that book on the first chapter. I treat prologues, introductions, the first chapter as a taste test, an appetizer. I want the author to give me a little bit of what I can expect from the rest of the book. Kate Willey did just that. The first chapter, chapter 1, we meet our main character, Detective Margot Phelan, as she's driving up to a crime scene. And in my opinion, you just can't go wrong in a crime thriller novel by visiting a crime scene first. I really enjoyed reading about the crime scene as the detectives are walking through, taking a first look at everything, just how ambiguous the clues are. Is it a murder? Is it a murder-suicide? Just taking in this huge amount of information to process. As soon as I finished chapter 1, I predicted that I was going to give this one a 4-star rating, and I was right. So I was off on the right foot with this book. My next unit of measurement comes at the 20% mark. That is the point where I am able to determine if this is one I'm going to continue reading or I'm going to DNF. It's like the author knew that about me, because right at the 20% mark, there is some information that turns up in the case that was so intriguing, I just had to know. There was no way I was going to be putting this one down anytime soon. At this point, I've just been talking about one case in particular that Detective Margot Phelan is investigating. During the course of this novel, she actually works on multiple cases, and there are chapters that are mixed in that are told from the perspective of her serial killer father, Ed Finch. The chapters with Ed are absolutely bone chilling. It talks about how he picked a victim, how he carried out his method of attack, and subsequent murder of one of his victims. The book tells us that Ed Finch is one of the most notorious, prolific serial killers. When the case was finally broken by the FBI, he had 76 victims. Now, the interesting thing about The Killer's Daughter, Ed Finch is still alive, and that plays a large role in this novel because he has been relocated to a prison near where his daughter, Detective Margot Phelan, lives. He sends a message through his lawyer that he wants to see his daughter. She's not having it, and she keeps saying no, 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 until one particular message from the lawyer stops her in her tracks. Ed has told the lawyer that if Margot will agree to come see him, he'll tell her about 77. Which leads me to segue in the character development of Detective Margot Phelan. And oftentimes when I'm reading or even watching TV shows or movies about law enforcement characters, they always feel stiff, almost robotic, which I guess plays into the fact that they have to kind of shut down emotionally some part of themselves to be able to do their jobs. Can you yourself imagine what it must be like to be a homicide detective? Just seeing what another person is capable of, and every time you think you've seen the worst, something else happens. So it would make sense for these type of officers to close a bit of themselves off from that to protect themselves. But Kate Wiley does an amazing job humanizing this character of Margot Failing. I found her to be very relatable. I had so much concern for her as if she were a real person. I felt so sorry for her dealing with the anxiety and the stress and the sadness that were just washing over her from dealing with her father trying to reach out to her. And she doesn't want to see this man. She doesn't want to see this monster. She is terrified that he was able to locate her because she changed her name, she moved, she did all of these things, and now he has somehow gotten himself transferred to a prison near her. And the reason why she is at war with herself is because she keeps thinking, if he really does have another victim that he is willing to share with me, I could bring her home. I could bring closure to her family. I have watched so many TV shows, movies, and read several books where a victim later became a law enforcement officer in order to protect people from being victims like they were, but Margot's experience just felt very unique to me. I loved the depth and the care that was given to Margot's character. I felt her internal struggle. I was so concerned for her, and it was hard to decide what I wanted her to do, what I would do in her place, though I do think my curiosity, just wondering how many people did Ed really murder? I think that would have gotten to me, and I would have gone to see him to see what I could have gotten out of him. Information always comes at a cost though, doesn't it? In addition to the character development in this book, something else that I really loved as a longtime true crime junkie, especially when it comes to serial killer content, Kate Wiley really did her research. The ways that Wiley found to insert actual information about well-documented serial killers really gave this fictional case an authentic feel to it. Needless to say, I am absolutely in for the duration of this series. If I forgot to mention, which I'm pretty sure I did, this is the first book in a new series called the Detective Margot Failing series. I imagine the tie-in for the series, in addition to it featuring Margot Failing as the main character, I bet we're going to continue to learn more about her father as they play this cat and mouse game where they're trying to get information out of each other. Plus, we're going to get to go along with Margot as she solves more homicide cases. So this one for me was a very strong 4-star rating. I really enjoyed it. Kate Wiley had me from start to finish with this book, and I need to look into more by her. In the description box below, I will put a link to this book where you can read the full book description. I have a non-spoiler written review if you want to read that, a place where you can pick up a copy of the book. I will also list Kate Wiley's other pen names as she has written several books. This was not her first rodeo, and I'm going to be looking into her backlog to see what I'm going to read next by her. So that is it for me talking about The Killer's Daughter by Kate Wiley. If you're a fellow true crime junkie, or you're just someone who enjoys a good mystery thriller suspense, or if you're someone who loves to read about serial killers like me, this is one you are absolutely going to want to pick up. Thank you all so much for watching today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button on your way down to the description box to learn more about this novel. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.